Hey folks, welcome to the show. I'm about to play some music by Jeff Winston, and we're going to get rolling in just a second here. The song is Ode to Robert E. Lee.
This one's for the general. Robert E. Lee was a proud man from Virginia. Military academy, master of strategy, a true leader. Late distinguished a gentleman, he fought and he won the hand of Miss Custis. Martha Washington's great-grand girl, Daddy didn't want a soldier, more heartache. A house full of girls and boys, filled with the loving noise of family. Robert served in Mexico. He was often far from home for country. Split across the Mason-Dixon line, led to a war in time, uncivil. Lincoln offered him full command, but he decided to take a stand for Dixie. Mary said he cried tears of blood due to his loyal love for both sides. Outnumbered and way outgunned, they fought like hell at Antietam with honor. Ulysses and Robert E. met to make a peace decree, no more bloodshed. At the Battle of Charlottesville, many men they showed their steel for the general. In August of 17, Rebs and Yanks we reconvene, no more brother wars. And since they gave us hell, we're gonna hear the rebel yell out, ooh. And since they gave us hell, we're gonna hear the rebel yell out, ooh. And since they gave us hell, we're gonna hear the rebel yell out, ooh.
Thanks for coming, everybody. This is a very special broadcast. We are remembering the accomplishments of the founder and director of the White Art Collective, Jeff Winston. So let me first introduce some of the pillar members of the White Art Collective. My dear friend and host of the poetry show on White Art Collective. Nullis, how are you today?
Hello, Donald. It's great to be with you again, even considering these tragic circumstances.
Mm,
I wish it wasn't so, but it is good to be with you again, as always.
indeed.
And hello, Luke. Hello, Lord Wolfshield, and hello to the audience as well.
Yeah, so next up, a very close friend of Lord Wolfshield, host of the Cinema Nazi show on White Art Collective, a wonderful man who brought a lot of joy to all of us here. Welcome, Lord Wolfshield.
Yes, hello. Hello. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to say. I'm just, you know, there's
Yeah,
I feel such a loss of words, but I know I wanted to come on
thank you.
to commemorate Jeff Winston.
Right, and we know that you were very, very close friends with Jeff and spent a great deal of time with him, did various projects with him. So it's really important to have you here, and we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So also my main man here, the shredder, Luke Mason, so hard, imminent rain. Thanks for coming and bringing your good energy to this really important event, Luke.
Oh, I'm honored to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's first thing I want to do is give everybody a look at the fundraiser for Hireth and their child. It's really, really a testament to our community, how well this fundraiser is done in the time that it's been on. I don't know quite how long it's been up, but the show, or rather the link of that is in the show notes. You guys can give to that generously if you would. I would appreciate that. But they've exceeded the $20,000 goal for this. Is up to $24,000. So we're really, really grateful to everyone. Hireth is extremely grateful to everybody. The level and the length of this tragedy to her and their child is really beyond imagination right now, and everyone around her is really feeling this acutely. Of course, we're working to help her in every way that we can, to support her in every way that we can, and honestly, in times like this is where people really prove what they're made of, and the fact that the community has come out and done this so well, exceeded this expectation, is something I want to thank everybody out there for. And I also think that you should give yourself a sense of, yes, this is a real community. When tragedy hits and we come together in this kind of way, it really says a lot about who we are as a community. And so that there's a lot of discussion about politics, but we're the arts community, we're adjacent, we're related, we all are on the same team, regardless of whatever little differences. And so again, I just wanted to thank everybody who's done so well in helping Hireth out when she needs it the most. So I want to thank everybody for that. So what I thought we would do for starters is take a look at Jeff's website, the White Art Collective, and look at the enormous breadth of work that he's done on that project, what he's tried to give to the broader community in the white positive sphere, and then see all the various different people that have been connected and related to this. So you guys in the group here, you can unmute yourselves, and I'd like to hear any of your impressions or thoughts or memories about projects that we did. I know that he's posted a couple of my Imperium art shows. There's the one with Imperium Press. We've got Nullis's Conversation with the Wind. And then you have just numerous other musicians' videos, Sebastian Villmark, Uberfolk, Norris Tom, Lilu and John. How long has the White Art Collective been around? Lord Wolfshield, would you know that? Like, what year did we start?
I think he started in, I believe, like 2017 or 18. I think I discovered him when he went on the, I think it was the 2018 millennial.
Mm.
that was when I first discovered him. I think so. I think it was about 2018. I think.
Yeah, I think
That's a
that
good place to
rings.
get
Yeah,
discovered as well.
that rings true with
One thing I loved is one thing I loved back in the day when we were really cooking is the all the shows that they had. They had Friday, Saturday. There were different shows in the week. What were some? Well, of course, Mama P's Monday Mix. What were some of your memories, Luke, of those times when we used to have all those D Live shows?
Oh, dude. Well, the dancing. God, I can't remember that guy's name.
Squared?
The shirtless.
Box. Are you talking about Boxcar, DJ Boxcar?
No, no, no. All the little stickers and dancing graphics they would have on those streams and stuff, and everyone was super grossed out.
Yeah.
But I can't. Stefan Molyneux, and yeah, I just.
Oh no,
just
the
re-
dancing Molly! I totally forgot about dancing.
Yeah.
Dude.
I hated that so much.
I love that.
I know, like I did too, and I would tell Nellis like I hate that when he goes. That's why I posted, and it just like. But yeah, those were some fun shows, and I kind of feel sorry for people who missed the boat on that because we just all get super revved up and excited, and then we would meet on the show, and of course Jeff and Mama P would be featuring all the new musicians. There were so many musicians flying into the Wet Art Collective. This is a point somebody recently made. I think it was probably Jack, about how he created this platform, and then all of us had a place to go, a kind of a home in a sense, and that so there were just so many cool things. Lord Wolfshield, what are some of your memories of all those shows?
Well, I don't know. There was tried to tune in every week to Saturday Night Live Stream. That was the flagship show, and I almost never missed a live episode of it because it just this movement can really bring you down, and it can really there's just like never ending black pills around, but this White Art Collective project was one of the few things in this sphere that really like was a major white pill every week. There was always like a new artist, or there was like one of your favorite artists releasing a new song. It was just
like Snake Fry.
always
It was
like
great.
that was.
And then you
it
started
was
your own
exciting.
show. Definitely.
Yeah, with
there was a really good
with a very ill-advised name that I later changed. I did start a movie review show with Jeff. I think that was right at the beginning of 2000, or 2020, I should say. And we had it was pretty cool because I could bring on some pretty epic guests. I got to bring on like Eric Stryker,
Oh yeah,
a long time ago.
Wow. How was that show?
That was a pretty epic thing. I can't access any of those shows anymore, unfortunately. I wish I could. And then eventually I kind of rebranded it to Bad Optics and did that with Hyrith for a while, and then it just kind of stopped. I think a lot of us just got kind of burnt out, from the live streaming thing. But I think I'm gonna be trying to bring that review show back at some point here soon.
Very cool. That it's funny because Nullis and I and the Pillar Artists were kind of discussing where does the White Art Collective go from here. It's a pretty serious question, and we'll have to talk about that as a group when the time comes, and certainly we're going to want Hyrith to kind of chime in on that. Nullis, what about your show on the White Art Collective? Can you tell the audience about that?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I just wanted to quickly apologize. My voice is a little hoarse right now because I'm struggling with the flu. I'm all right. No COVID, no coof. Everything is fine. It's just the damn flu, and so that's why my voice is a little bit different today. So this was an interesting situation for me. Basically first of all, I was inspired by the White Art Collective. That's how the whole thing started. I watched the Saturday night live streams. I was paying attention to this burgeoning artistic scene in the in our communities, in our spheres, and I really enjoyed the music. And I was just reading up on a lot of different artistic where like your artwork, Donald, for example. So all of this was really energizing and motivating. And then that's when I started writing my poetry, which again, I just did it on a whim, if you will. And Hyrith back then, and Snow Shadow, I don't know if anyone remembers her. They kind of motivated me to record these things that I was sharing. And so that's how the recording started. And then all of a sudden, Jeff asks me, he goes, so would you like to do a poetry show? And I'm like, sure, yeah, no problem. But I told him I'd never done anything like this before in my life. I'm not an expert in this. He goes, don't worry about it. Just, wing it. I'm like, okay. And he told me that I should limit it to 1 hour. Now, if anyone's familiar with Conversations with the Wind, it's anything but 1 hour, right? So it became a running.
You're infamous for that. Like your longest show was like 4 hours or something, right? I think.
Yeah, it became yeah. The longest show was like 4 hours, but it became a running joke with kind of an inside joke with Jeff and Donald that this was supposed to be a 1 hour show, but ultimately it became a 3 hour a spectacular kind of torturing the audience.
Yes,
but and I hope they all enjoyed it. And speaking of which, I guess I should mention that I've been promising forever to continue with the next season of Conversations with the Wind, which I do intend to continue. It's just been a lot of things going on, nothing bad, just a lot happening at once. And so I just didn't get around to dedicating the amount of time, because to do an episode for Conversations with the Wind does take a lot of time, and I want to do it right. And so just give me a little time to get my bearings straight, but I definitely intend to continue with Conversations with the Wind. But getting back to Jeff, so he basically urged me, and he showed me how to set up everything on the live stream, how to set it up on YouTube, how to set it up on what was it? What's that program that they use? There was another one, not SoundCloud, but not StreamYard, but there was another one that we used.
I forget the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he showed me like the basics for that, and then Fernald was also really helpful with things.
Right.
They were both really helpful, but Jeff too, with basic audio settings and stuff. So that led me to then create my own videos on my YouTube channel. That led me to start reading things. And as I continued, hopefully I've improved my production quality and my writing style and all these things. Everything is always a great improvement and movement forward. But I would never have done any of this, never, ever, if Jeff would not have urged me to do it, not have motivated me to do any of this. And so I will remain forever grateful to him for kind of bringing me out of my shell.
This is the thing that we all owe him, is some kind of debt of gratitude, because he wasn't just a musician or kind of a tech guy or something. He was a visionary, and he created this community. And then he kind of had a personal relationship with everybody in it, and encouraged them to do whatever the thing is that they wanted, whatever they were good at. We would have sort of like group meetings, talk about, like setting up the next White Art Collective music festival, or, how can we promote the group, or any number of, sort of almost business-like issues. But then privately, I think we all enjoyed a nice friendship with him, and there was just this constant sense of warm camaraderie. And that sets the tone for the entire collective, this kind of, I don't know, sense of family that I think is really, really special, and something that we have to carry on in our own way.
I think family is a good word, by the way, for this theme in general.
Yeah. And I'd say, like, for me in particular, like, I think most of the artists in the White Art Collective were artists before WAC was created, but I was not. I had never made a song or a
Mm-hmm.
film before Whack, you know.
That's
But
powerful.
it really was. He was really just such an inspiration for
There
me
you
to
go.
actually like
Yeah.
do things that I had always wanted to do my
Mm-hmm.
whole life, but didn't know if I could, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I took like a big risk. Like I kind of bought like a home recording studio.
Yeah.
It was like more than I could afford,
Not
and
cheap.
I had no idea if I could even do it. And
Gosh, yeah.
I'm
I remember
still
you posting your first song on piano. I was like, hey, this guy's got
Yeah,
talent.
yeah.
It's nice.
yeah, I can kind of kind of play. I could play the piano, but I didn't know if I could actually like make an original song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
then but filmmaking was always my passion, and
Mm-hmm.
I'd always wanted to be a filmmaker since I was like in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
But and I had kind of made stupid little videos when I was, very young, mostly like stop motion films with like my action
Mm-hmm.
figures fighting each other to the death or whatever.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
and I have to say, now you're an award-winning
Yeah,
filmmaker.
A two-time award-winning
Two-time
filmmaker.
award-winning theater.
I haven't pulled that
Wow.
line out for a
Hey,
while.
hey, look, if you're hiring a butler, let me know. I mean, gosh,
Right? Yeah, but like
Hollywood Hills there or something.
but his spooky shorts contest, like I think he did it like a year or two before I finally like
Mhm.
just had okay, I'm gonna do this,
Mhm. Maybe you
And
could expand on that. What was the spooky shorts? What was that all about?
well, it was just a contest. It was a
Mhm.
contest he put on. I believe he had done it 1 year previously before
Okay.
decided to do it because I think the first winner was Lulu and John,
Okay.
the
Lilo and
misandry
yeah.
video.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
So there's
yeah,
always something going on, of course, every Christmas we had Memeing of a White Christmas. I'm going to play
Mhm.
one of Jeff's songs from that soon. Halloween was a lot of fun. There was just, again, it's that kind of sense of family. Like you do those sort of
Yeah.
things with your friends and family. So it was great times.
In a way, to add to that, I just think that the big appeal of the White Art Collective was the fact that we felt like we were a large family, and what we were really doing was sharing our interaction with a greater audience in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like we were bringing the audience into this family, and I think that was a strong appeal. At least I hope that was the appeal, one of the strongest appeals of the White Art Collective.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic to think through, like how we've impacted the broader white identity movement. Luke, do you have any thoughts on that topic? Unmute you here, bud. Can't unmute. Okay.
Hey, sorry about that, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm having major technical issues. I'm trying to get into the chat on my actual computer so that I can like interact with folks and all that.
You could just comment, here.
Yeah, dude. Man, those weekly streams that we used to do, dude, that was the highlight of my week, man.
Mm-hmm.
I waited all week for that, and dude, for me, it felt like going to church, man. Like that was my spiritual community. Y'all were and still are. It's just, dude, I miss that, and I would look forward to the Monday streams, Mama P Monday streams, and there was just such a thriving sense of community, and everyone was talking to each other, and there's so many great artists that I really enjoyed. I remember Darkest Sky and Arcology, who used to be Transversing the Divide.
Wow, I remember that.
Yeah, dude, there's so many awesome artists out there. Amalek.
Yeah,
Friendship
right here in the chat.
Amalek's in the chat?
No, Blood of Tyrants.
Blood of Tyrants. Oh my God.
Blood of Tyrants. Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
Epic stuff.
Just so many really awesome. Oh, who was that fella? Sonnenberg.
Oh yeah,
Brian Sonnenberg.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude, that guy was super prolific. And man, I just always loved those streams. I loved the long, cozy conversations with the wind streams, dude. Those were super special, and just the way that we all were able to come together, and the way that, you know, what Jeff did is he gave, you know, dudes like us a place where we could go and support one another and have a sense of community, and that's priceless, dude.
And collaborate eventually too, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. You remember the Dangdo Derndo collabs?
Yeah. Oh man, we gotta play that. You should play that now.
It took. I don't know if I can squeeze it in, but so this brings up an important topic that we can't ignore, is Jeff's sense of humor, and how, you know, he didn't want it to be all serious. You know, he was really like out there about that. Like, look, you know, this movement's very serious, black pills, all that stuff. Let's have some fun. Like, we're all on the same page. We're on the same team. Like, let's, you know, part of being us is just, you know, being able to let our hair down, kind of just loosen up and joke around and have a good time. So like there was the story behind it. I don't know if Lord Wolfshield, do you know the story behind Dangdo Derndo?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you. I just thought maybe you knew. But like, I guess it was his mom or his grandma that she came up with this phrase because, you know, the generation doesn't want to swear. So instead of saying, you know, GD or something, she said, dang, don't, Derndo, or something like that. And then he thought that was so funny that he wrote this funny song about it, you know. So, and then we all kind of chipped in on it in terms of, like, you know, like we were there on the joke. We were in all on the joke, etc. So,
and we all did our own versions of it.
Yeah,
there's a couple.
Yeah, there's even a Dangdo Derndo poem out there just for the.
Is there really?
Yes.
Man, this is, I guess it's a legend then. The legend of Dangdo Derndo.
The legend of Dangdo Derndo. Yeah.
There you go. That sounds like Tarantino's next film right there. But speaking of humor, he did a kind of a short, funny sci-fi film called Space Boat.
Yes.
This is Lord Wolfshield. Is that your department right there? Would you like to comment on
that? Yeah, that was just something that we all kind of worked on together. Jeff wanted to do this film that he didn't know quite what. He just pitched the idea of like everybody doing like green screen together, like some sort of sci-fi type story. And we got Dino Storm on board for that, and he kind of took it from there. And yeah, that was a long long process. It took us like a year to make that.
I was watching it the other day, and I'm like, you know, as when you're watching film, you don't realize how long it takes to set things up, to plan them out, to shoot them on green screen. I think there was some CGI in there, with some 3D animation or something. And it struck me as like, man, you guys put a lot into this. So, I mean, if I could have just thrown you $1 million, man, I wonder what you could have done.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Zorchwave, because I don't know. He I think he deleted a lot of his videos and his channel and things like that. So I don't know where he is. I heard some different rumors. I don't want to say, you know, what I heard, but that, you know, I just hope that he's taking a breather now. But I just want to give a quick shout out to him and say, you know, he's done so much for us at the White Art Collective, and he's and his work has always been exceptionally good. And that, you know, no matter what happens and how we move forward with this, you know, he is always at home with WAC. And, you know, I just want him to know that, so that, you know, if he hears this, that, you know, we're always family, you know, for Zorchwave.
Excellent. So on that topic, one of our most important musicians in our family here, one of the founding members, is Jack White, and he made an audio recording. He couldn't be on the show, but he did make a kind of eulogy that is really beautiful, and so I'm going to share that now, and then I'm going to play one of his songs. Let me kind of line up the screen for that first, though. Hang tight, guys. But yeah, it's been a. I don't think any of us really know kind of how to handle this. It's just been such a shock, and that's why coming together in these ways is important for us to kind of talk it out and share a memory and just carry something with us that is positive, because Jeff did so much, and that we have to carry the torch in these kinds of things. So let me play Jack White's eulogy here.
Hey everybody, I'm really sorry I can't be with you all tonight and share the grief of losing our good friend Jeff. It's really not easy for me to talk about it, if I'm honest, but I feel I must say a few words out of the respect that I have for him and because of his loyal friendship to me over the years. Jeff had a vision and he was absolutely dedicated to it. He saw something that nobody else did and he just went ahead and did it regardless. He built it like a true Aryan for his people. Like many of you, he found me when nobody cared about my work or probably yours either. And he brought you and I into a community of like-minded people, which is how many of us here met and became the good friends that we are on the internet and more. I feel a great debt to him for that, and I won't ever forget it. Many of you met him, but Jack lives very far away, and I never did get to meet him. And I'm honestly devastated that I never will, because in my mind, I always thought that I would. If not this year, then maybe the next or the one after. It's very strange to me how you develop these friendships on the internet with people you've never even met. But we live in very strange and difficult times, and it just is what it is. This is a great loss for our community, and we should really grieve it. But we should also celebrate Jeff's life and his accomplishments. Jeff was a cheerful and a good-natured soul at heart. Many people are very talented, but few are as likable in equal measure as Jeff was. He really was one of a kind. He could turn his hand to anything: music, film, organizing, leadership. He was so hardworking and just so nice. We will miss him. We will miss him, but his work will live on as long as this cause does, and I hope it flourishes. I want a fucking statue to Jeff in his hometown come the day. But his legacy will also live on in his baby daughter and her mother, Iris, and thank God for that. We have a duty to support and protect them. And I want to thank the community for rallying around when it was needed. I don't really know what else to say. I'm going to miss you, Jeff. I raise my glass to you, your friend Jack.
Find me where the road and the river meet. I'm just a soul living for sea. from can I never forget the crying when it's done. Never meant it. At a time I'll sing my song. If I write it, let us better go on meaning of something I wanted, it's a better note to be. Find me in the cold on a liver blade. If my soul's built in a concrete, if I'm fine, I never forget the sighing when it's gone. Never meant it a bit of time, so sing along. If I write it, let us better go on meaning of something a hummer, it's a better note to be.
Jack's music is always so, I don't know what the word is for this, but it just digs right down into your soul. It's so raw and so true and so powerful. I'm very moved by that. Nullis, how did you like that piece?
I left me speechless. The whole combination with his eulogy and the song, it was just perfect. I think the only word I can think of right now is just perfect.
Yeah,
it mirrored everything I wanted to say, and I'm not someone who, I'm fairly loquacious, and I couldn't find the right words.
That's well. So segue a little bit here. What we're going to do is play a clip from Nullis's poetry show where Jeff is speaking. And maybe you can set up this clip a little bit for us, Nullis.
Sure. This was a Christmas special. I believe it was from 2020. And so I had Donald, I had Hyrith, I had Jeff on, and then later on we had we were talking about our family traditions, Christmas traditions, and so I asked Jeff to share some of his family traditions, Christmas traditions, and he ended up reading "Oh Holy Night" to us, which was very unique. And so I figured I'd share that snippet with everyone.
Well, it's almost Halloween right now as on the broadcasting of this show, so I guess we can kind of give him a break and let him talk a little bit about Christmas since we're getting into that season now. It's getting cold and all that. And then after that, I will play one of Jeff's songs. So Jeff, every year he would do Memeing of a White Christmas, and I actually wrote a song, and several other people would write kind of Christmas songs with a sort of white positive theme to it. And what Jeff wrote is so beautiful. It's so well done. It's well produced. The harmonies are gorgeous. You guys are going to love it. So it's important that in this dark, painful time where we're suffering and the grief of losing him, that we embrace the beauty that he brought to our lives and to the world, and that we help to kind of carry that on. So let me play this clip. We'll just mute our mics for a minute.
So speaking of playing hard to get, Jeff, it's your turn now.
Whoa. Oh, right. Well, all right. What am I starting with?
Well, just tell us a little bit about your Christmas family traditions. Again, your family, your parents' childhood, or your grandparents, whatever is closest to your heart.
All right. Well, so when I was a kid, we would always, became a tradition that we would open our presents on Christmas Eve morning. So we kind of got a head start on everybody else, which was kind of cool. And the reason we did that is because we were going to go over to my dad and my mom's side of the family. And actually, a lot of times we would be there later in the day on Christmas Eve, and we would end up going to midnight mass with my dad's family. And it was always kind of cool. Like, of course, all the kids, we were like playing, and we had opened our presents over at that side of the families. And so I remember one year we had like a little miniature pool table in the basement. My grandma had this really old house, this like really dank, like creepy old style basement, probably from like well, Europeans are like old. Well, it's only 150 years old or whatever, but probably wasn't even that old. But anyway, it was it was a cool memory. But I remember like we would always kind of get corralled, about 11 p.m. or so to go to midnight mass. And my grandpa really liked to go early because they played music for like an hour before the mass started. And so we would go early, and because he just liked to sit there and listen to the music. And he was actually a musician. I think that's where I get my musical talent from. He was in a band called the Rail Splitters. And he was self-taught on the guitar, and he also played piano. And my great uncle, his brother, played some banjo. But so yeah, he just loved to go there and listen to the music. Let's see. Oh, just kind of a funny anecdote. My grandma on that side, she would always get all the kids or make everybody something. And so a lot of times she would like crochet something or whatever. And when she got a little bit older, she just didn't have the energy to make something for like 10 grandchildren, make something for the girls, make something for the boys, and have it be, gender appropriate. God forbid. But anyway, so she just got everybody these little keychains that were like a little pair of like tidy whities, and when you squeezed it, it would fart. I'm trying to keep things classy here. Anyway, look, she wanted to get something for everybody, but she just didn't have a lot of money. Anyway, we all just think that's so funny because like she always would make us stuff, and she just never did anything like that. So anyway, it just kind of stuck out. But
I love that. I love that.
And any connection to Dindo Dundo or
seriously, yes.
Well, that goes into my next thing. So yeah, okay. I'm a Midwestern rural American. So and we used to go. A tradition was we would go shooting guns on Christmas. We would all get together, and there's this like creek that we would go down to and shoot skeet, shoot bottles, But we always did that at Christmas. That just became a tradition. So seems appropriate, an appropriate American tradition. Cool. But yeah, and then sometimes my cousin
reindeer though, buddy.
No, of course not. We were there just the clay pigeons. We weren't there to hurt any of Santa's precious, But
Jeff, you didn't get a box one year that said fragile and it was from Italy, right?
Oh no,
bad.
Yeah, you're gonna one of these days you're gonna shoot your eye out with that thing.
I never did shoot my eye out though, but I could relate to that story. Of course, who doesn't love that story? But
taking my son to see that on Monday, actually, in the theater, believe it or not.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
In the theater, huh?
Yeah. It's a really old theater. Don't mean to cut you off, Jeff. It's just kept the same since vaudeville days. So it'd be really neat.
Well, no worries. And so another thing here is that this year, my niece and nephew, I'm getting them some instruments. So kind of speaking of tradition, speaking of my grandpa, I'm I'm getting a drum set and the drums are back ordered, but anyway, I hope I get them in time to get them to him this weekend. But and a little guitar, and I want to. It's just kind of an introduction. They're still a little bit young, but it's time to start letting them, get a little bit familiarized with the instruments and messing around with them. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that's a good tradition, is including the music in it, and also just the tradition of playing music within your family.
Do you sing? Yeah, go ahead, Harvith. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, passing on the musical torch. I love that. That's awesome. Go ahead, Nellis. Sorry.
No, not at all. It's just do you sing during Christmas or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day as a family?
It's funny. Like, I'm one of those guys that I'm always kind of annoyed when everybody wants me to perform. I'm like one of those like brooding artist types that I'm like, I mean, I want to, but then again, it's like, well, I haven't really had the opportunity to practice, and whether want me to play, you want me to dance for you, so I'm like really cooperative on that front. But I've played Christmas music. I've played for the family multiple times over the years. You know what I mean? And I've played at funerals and everything else. So love to sing Amazing Grace. That's a classic, not Christmas necessarily, but just a good tune.
Well, this is a great segue to the next question. Do you have a poem or a Christmas story in particular that you might want to share with the audience?
Well, being a musician, I thought I would read some lyrics from a classic Christmas song, and nice. I really love this song. It's "Oh Holy Night," and I'm probably just going to read the first two. This is a really long song, and I'm no Donald Kent when it comes to reading. So, or Nolus or Hyrith. So anyway, I've actually tried to do the "Oh Holy Night" for the last two Memeing of a White Christmases, and actually it was before that even. I think I tried to do it for 2017. I was going to just put it out before the White Art Collective even existed. And I can't get it. You have to do it. My voice just doesn't quite work. You just have to nail that song. And I refuse to put out a version of it that just isn't right. It's, just anyway. So, and I was going to do it the other night for Whack Karaoke, but I was just like, it was more fun. And I did Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer instead. Not quite as reverent, but anyway, I've just always loved this song. And even though, full disclosure, I'm personally not a believer, but I grew up in the Catholic Church rather, and I definitely have reverence. I would consider myself a cultural Christian, and there's a lot of religious songs like Amazing Grace, like Ave Maria, like Oh Holy Night, that I just think are beautiful, and they're really inspired to me. They're like really, like, I can tell the people who wrote them were genuinely inspired. They really felt it, and it comes across. So anyway, having said all that, I'll go ahead and read some of these lyrics, because it is kind of interesting just to get to hear them by themselves, you can imagine. But okay, here we go. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, O hear the angel voices, O night divine, O night when Christ was born. O night, O holy night, O night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by his cradle we stand. So led by light of a star sweetly gleaming, here come the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger, in all our trials born to be our friend. He knows our need, to our weakness no stranger. Behold your King, before him lowly bend. Behold your King, before him bend.
Powerful stuff. This is the way that he read that. I don't know what to say, but I'm so glad that we played that on this show, because I feel that it adds an element of the divine to what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring together the community in this difficult time, to grieve together, to love together and laugh together and remember together, and that in some sense it's sanctified. And so it's quite beautiful to hear him share the wonderful stories of his family. He's a true Midwestern American, a classic. And then to hear him speak those words so soulfully, and it's very touching. It's very beautiful. Nollis, maybe you'd like to share some thoughts on that.
Well, no, I share everything that you feel. I mean, you touched upon a little bit of divinity here. I think that's a nice way of putting it. I think that, the shows that we produced on the White Art Collective, whether it was the music shows, whether it was the karaoke show that we had once in a while, or the movie shows, the movie review shows, or my poetry cast, I think every one of those shows had a very personal touch to it all the time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that was reflected by the way Jeff was kind of guiding all of us into the way we should present ourselves, mm-hmm. in a sense, or maybe it's just that he brought the right people into the mm-hmm. into the community. I don't know what it was, but I mean, it's not like he told us what to do or anything. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give that impression either. Mm-hmm. But he kind of, there was this air that we were talking about earlier, this feeling of family. And I think that this, when we're having these conversations, we're talking, it's almost like we're sharing our family traditions so that we use that to become a new family, if that makes any sense.
Oh, beautifully said. Let me pass the mic over to Luke. What were your impressions of that clip, Luke?
Oh, I just, the way that he read that, his timing and his cadence, and there was a tone of sincerity, you could tell that he had a very apt artistic sense about him. He had an impeccable sense of taste.
Yeah.
And in the way that only a Midwestern American could have, and just, man, I have so much that I want to say that isn't about that. He was so talented in so many different ways. I think that we really all lost out in the fact that he didn't get a chance to complete his film.
Yeah.
Because I just think he was a giant, artistically, and just like a major powerhouse. And I could tell even by just his delivery in that poem, and the way that he is so natural with telling stories about, how it was when he was growing up and Christmas Eve and everything. I just think that, I don't know, man, it's what a loss, dude. Like I miss him.
Yeah.
So much,
A natural storyteller. That's the
Yeah, he really holds your attention beautifully. It's there's just so much about him. Maybe I'll pass the mic to Lord Wolfshield if you could share your impressions of that clip a little bit.
Well, it just reminded me of how like articulate he was. He was such a good talker, and he didn't. He knew just what to say. In a really good way. Like I'm like the opposite of him. I'm a real bad talker. I don't talk no good. But he really knew how to articulate exactly what he wanted to say without it going like too far off and too much. It's like he knew exactly how much to say, and he was so good at articulating why we needed a art collective.
Yes.
I think it's such a loss that we don't have his voice anymore to the guy to be our voice, to really put it best. I don't know, it's a huge loss.
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
He always knew, like, he didn't stammer like me. He knew what he wanted.
And he had such a great and his personality was very chill and warm. It was the exact sort of temperament that was needed, I think, to draw in so many different types of people from all sorts of walks of the political sphere.
Good for leadership too. Like he kept his emotions in check, and he was able to lead properly with that. So that was quite good. So I'm going to play a song of his from The Meaning of a White Christmas. This is a beautiful song, and I think it helps to bring a little comfort to our hearts right now. So let's have a listen to it.
All good men behind the bars, your fight will take us to the stars. Please don't feel lonely. We haven't forgotten your bravery and how you face unsavory. With honor. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and you and you and you and you and you and you too. Enemy will find in time that we will leave no man behind. As we climb, a Merry Christmas, a Merry Christmas to you and you and you and you and you and you and you too. A Merry Christmas, a Merry Christmas to all and each and everyone who fought before the rising sun. A Merry Christmas, a Merry Christmas to all and each and everyone who fought before the rising sun. A Merry Christmas, 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 a Merry Christmas.
Lovely, lovely song. It's just so charming. And, it's amazing how that song pulls together just kind of the normal Christmas culture of the Christmas music and the spirit and all that, but then ties it into our politics, our identity, culture, the thing that is about what we are and who we are, the struggles that we have. But it's done in such a way that's very seamless and beautiful. And I think that says a lot about his ability to understand how to make good art that, is associated to our movement and our people.
Mm-hmm.
So inspiring. That's certainly a classic right there, I would say so. Lord Wolfshield, how do you feel about that song?
Well, it's my favorite of all of his songs.
Mm.
And it just going to show about how much he was like an inspiration to me. Like the first bits of like media I ever made, like songs I decided to make once I decided that's what I was going to try to do, were just like bad covers of Jeff Winston songs.
Really?
The first one I did was Dango Durndo. And the second one was this Christmas Behind Bars song, and I've unlisted those. You can't, because they're so bad.
You're gonna create a Jeff Winston cover band?
Well, I mean, he was, the inspiration for me, and
Yes.
it just goes to show you.
Yeah, that's marvelous. Luke, would you share your thoughts? How did you like that song?
Oh, dude, I'm one of those assholes that hates Christmas songs if it's not Christmas. But I gotta say, dude, I love that particular performance. And dude, what a golden voice.
Yeah.
That guy was so talented, but also so humble, dude. Like, and he was always the first guy to like lift people up who were struggling with their art or with, trying to, rise to the next level in their endeavors. And he was always the first guy to want to give those folks a chance to develop and flourish into artists. And yet here he was, this fucking like virtuoso musical monster.
Crazy.
But he never had the attitude, he always was just very relatable, and just like you guys were saying, warm and very chill, very mellow. He was so easy to talk to, because just in the way that he spoke, you always felt like he was on your side from the very get-go of any conversation,
Yeah. I think that song is it flows beautifully from the poetry, the lyrics that he was just reading. Nullis, how did you like that song?
Oh, it was a beautiful song, and the meaning of the song, right, is so not political, but it's truth. Mm-hmm. And I think when we're looking at it as truth, and we're looking at it as an expression of our emotional understanding, then it becomes, a shared experience, even if, for example, you're not the one who he's singing this for, because this is for people that can't go home for Christmas.
Yeah. I think he might, someone can correct me, but I have the impression that might be for people who have been wrongly jailed because there's a lot of people in our movement that get railroaded by the system.
Exactly.
And there was a program that he was doing where he was promoting that people send letters to these people in jail. They're essentially being sent to jail for standing up for their rights as whites. and they're martyrs in a regard. So to take that horrible travesty, that obstruction of justice, and turn it into a beautiful Christmas song, I mean, only Jeff could do that. It's a kind of a magical alchemy that he had.
Yeah.
So I want to take a minute here to remind the audience how important it is to contribute to the fundraiser for Hirith and Jeff's baby, and for them, because she is so devastated by this situation that words can't really describe it. So I'm kind of stuttering here, but again, I'm very, very, very impressed and pleased with how the audience, the community, has really gone overboard and showing so much love. But I think that with something of this scale, the damage is on the nuclear scale for her life. It's so enormous with a newborn baby. It's just really unimaginable. So if people could go to the link in the show description and please be generous and give Hirith some kind of funding, that would be really deeply appreciated.
And don't go to the website and buy like her album or whatever.
Yeah.
The website is just not functional anymore.
Right.
Like there's nobody has access to it anymore. So you're not helping her by like going and buying her album.
Right.
So
right.
that's something that we have to get across.
Yeah, only Jeff has the passwords and access to the website. So I'm thank you very much for bringing that up. I'm not sure how that's going to get resolved, but maybe there's a way. Anyway, so thank you for mentioning that. And then again, let's just before we wrap up the show, I'm going to play one of Hirith's songs. I understand that maybe she was going to put this on her last album, but decided not to.
No, it's on the album. It just was not. There was some songs that were just exclusive to the album, but she decided to release this one.
Okay, excellent. And
which she played this at his funeral. Yeah.
Oh Lord, oh God, that must have been hard. I played, music at my father's funeral. I know that it takes a lot to do that. It's called Gone But Not Forgotten. Would you guys like just to maybe close it out with a statement, and then I'll play the song and wrap it up today? Let's start with Luke.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to share just a few memories with y'all that I had of Jeff. The first memory that I really have where I really got to know him was like a 3-hour phone conversation. And the dude was so generous with his time. There was a lot of talk and a lot of justified worry about people who were Fed posty like myself, back in the day. And I had the impression that maybe he wasn't so happy with me about that. And he actually, when I got a chance to talk to him, he was super cool about everything. And, while he was, very, adamant about, protecting ourselves from, undesirable consequences and attention, dude was every bit as hardcore as I am about his beliefs. Mm-hmm. And, he just had such an excellent sense of tact. And I think he just had a maturity about him that I don't necessarily have, trying to grow up and become a little bit more like Jeff. But, in spite of how hardcore and how passionate he was, he just had a lot of maturity. And what I felt was even more mature is that he didn't judge people for being too edgy or for being too hardcore or for having bad optics. He was very much, a lover of all of our folk. And I just really respect and admire him for that. And the next memory that I have of him was Whackfest, Amalahar, driving out to, the Whackfest. And then we get there and the first guy we see is Jeff, and he told us where to park and everything. And, dude, I just felt like that whole day was so magical.
Absolutely.
I got to basically like help him run sound that day. And I felt like it was such an honor to be able to do that. Cause I could tell like, you know, this was a big thing for him too. It was like his first big event.
Huge.
And he, dude, you know, there was a lot of chaos because you know, there was a lot of things that, you know, like we had to set up the sound. He had generators and everything.
Yeah.
And there was like wind issues, and then, you know, finding like where the flattest places were and like avoiding like the places that had mud and stuff. Like he had all kinds of problems that none of us probably would have ever expected. And I just felt so glad that I was there, that I had gear, that I had a little bit of training in some of this, you know, how to run live sound and stuff, because it seemed like he really appreciated me being there. And it just felt like such an honor. And then I remember when DJ Boxcar showed up and he kind of took over, and I was so glad to see him. And dude, it was just, I just felt like it was such a great experience to be able to kind of pal around with Jeff that day and help him. And I remember I even got to like hang out at one of the booths that he had set up. I think it was like they were selling books from the White People's Press, and I remember a book that he had written. It was all about how to hold your own traditional dance.
Yeah.
And he was just super cool, man. And I remember also like, you know, there was a bunch of gear of mine that I left there because there was just so much chaos. And then when we finally had to pack up, it was like we had to get out right away because it was dark and then no one could see anything. Sure. And then I get a message or a call from him, and he's like, "Bro, you left a bunch of your gear here." And I was like, "Oh, crud. I need some of that stuff, you know, like I can't record without it." So I got a package from him, you know, like a week or two later, and you know, it had all my gear in there, and it was just cool. And it was weird for me to see like his actual name on the postage, you know, because a lot of us have you know, stage names and so on, pseudonyms that we go by.
We do.
But yeah, totally. But nobody knows about that, right? That's
no.
Secret code 1234.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I said too much already. But
this is my real name.
Yeah.
Fight with that guy, Lord Wolfshield, I tell you. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, but Jeff was just so awesome, dude. And I have a lot of regret, dude, that I didn't get to be there for the second Whack Fest. And I was just I had so many things that I was looking forward to with him. I was looking forward to him finishing his movie. I was looking forward to, you know, much more streams, you know, a lot more streams. I was looking forward to a lot more events.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to seeing him and Hyreth grow old together and have a lot more babies.
Oh yeah. I mean, he started a film and then he had a baby, and so like he kind of had
dude, you
know, like kind of back off from the site and the events and this and that, which is clearly
understandable. And just hanging out with him, I was just looking forward to, you know, getting a chance to have more fellowship and more coleslaw. Sorry, that's a little inside joke, but
inside joke, yeah.
But yeah, that's, I really treasure all those memories. And I didn't get to know him as good as Wolfshield or people or Hyreth, you know, or people that lived closer to him. Like Blood of Tyrants mentioned that he got to actually like have him over to his place and stuff, which is super magical, dude.
Super cool.
So precious. So I envy those people, but I'm so happy that I got to know him in the capacity that I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wonderful.
And I'll never forget him.
Well, the thing is that we carry a part of him in us now and probably forever. You know, the things that he started we will continue. And so he is a part of us now and our community in total. So let me pass the mic to Jeff. Maybe you can have some closing thoughts, maybe some memories of Jeff.
To Jeff, or
about Jeff, or just closing thoughts on the show?
Oh, to me? Or...
Yes, for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to mention a few things very quickly before I just give some final thoughts. Number one, we always remember all of our brothers and sisters who have departed us. I just wanted to mention Steak Fry and Syntheside in this as well.
Yes, good point.
Just take a brief moment for everyone to remember them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Great brothers who left us much too soon. And Jeff, I hope the three of you are up together and creating great music together.
Oh, beautiful.
And so we, and Vingo asked us earlier, what we intend to do going forward. I think that it's a little premature right now for us to say anything specific, but whether, we move forward as the White Art Collective or we do something else, that will remain to be seen. Nonetheless, we have at least the pillar community, I guess, of WAC.
Mm-hmm.
we will carry Jeff's message with us, no matter what we do. And so it's not going to disappear, and we are not going to disappear, regardless of what others might want. They can go to hell. They can all go to hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not stopping.
And we're not going to stop.
No.
And that's as simple as it is.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to just finish up with a few thoughts here. So Jeff, thank you for the creative inspiration, valuable advice, and unyielding support. Your artistic message gave me strength to grow and become more than I could ever have imagined. Your generosity helped me when I needed it most. The family you built for all of us at the White Art Collective will carry us through the most difficult challenges. Thank you for everything. I will remain forever grateful that I had the honor of meeting you. Rest in peace, brother.
So let me ask Lord Wolfshield to have some closing thoughts for today. I really appreciate your coming on.
Yes, thank you. I don't know. I just want to, get across that he was as much a friend to me as he was an inspiration to me. We spent a lot of time together. I would travel a lot to be with Jeff and Hireth. And, they were, my best friends in the world, really. I felt, me and my lady, we felt, more comfortable around them than anybody else.
Wow.
So it really is a huge loss for us, me and my lady, because we were very close to them and we spent a lot of time hanging out with them. And it's I have this letter that I kept. I framed it, actually. It when Jeff decided to start selling merch, I bought the wax shirt right away, and he sent a handwritten letter. This is before he even knew me. We hadn't really got to know each other at the time, but said, I'll just read it. I have it here. I've had it, framed for years. Said, "Dear Mr. Lord Wolfshield." Well, I didn't have that name at the time, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Said, thank you for being the first to purchase our first limited edition T-shirt. Without the support of noble and courageous people such as yourself, we would be pissing in the wind. When we win, and we will win, you will have a seat at the table in the grand hall.
Beautiful.
Cheers, mate.
Beautiful.
Jeff Winston, director of White Art Collective, and it's kind of crazy how true that ended up being. We did, share a table, many times, eating at restaurants or eating at the house, and it just, I felt like we were,
family.
Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Family, and we were working towards something grand,
Indeed. And we still are
together.
And we will win. And
Yes.
we will win.
Yes, we will.
We will win.
It's beautiful.
But it feels,
I know.
It breaks my heart to see that he won't be here for the victory.
Well, he got it started, so we're going to have to finish it.
And like Jack said, we're going to put that statue up in his hometown.
Yes. Oh my God, what a beautiful day that'll be. A glorious day.
It will happen.
So I want to close out here by asking everybody in the chat, on the show, and watching the playback to take some time tonight before you go to bed to say a prayer for Jack's soul.
Yes.
Say a prayer for him with your heart. And
for Jeff's,
for Jeff's. I wasn't talking about Jack White.
Jack also needs it.
Jack could use some prayers too, let me tell you.
Jack also needs it.
He's like on his fifth whiskey right now. But for Jeff's soul, for Hireth, for the baby, for their families. They're obviously suffering greatly. But ultimately for Jeff to guide him to the light. So please pray for him. That's the only thing that I ask. So let's close out the show with Hireth's song. And you guys, you can contact me through my website. You can see that through this YouTube channel, and I'll get you plugged into the White Art Collective. We have a lot of events, plans, shows, things coming down the pipeline. So hang in there. There's still much more to come. So I want to thank all the guests for coming and everyone in the chat. And I just want to say God bless you. God bless you all. Have a good night.
I won't say where this pain came from. I've known heartache that leaves you feeling numb. As time goes by and I'm whole again, know that I'd never leave you behind. I still miss you all of the time. Your memory stays here with me. You're still here with me. In my heart you'll be. I can't say where it is you've gone. Maybe to a better place. My love for you lives on. As time goes by and I'm whole again, I still miss you all of the time. Your memory stays here with me. You're still here